The Epic of Gilgamesh was discovered in the year 1849 in the ancient city of Nineveh in northern Iraq. Archaeologists were hoping to find records to prove that Bible stories were true, but what they found instead was one of the oldest libraries in the world. Inscribed on a crumbling clay tablet was a 4,000-year-old story called the Epic of Gilgamesh. The story starts with the king of Uruk, Gilgamesh, who was known for crashing every wedding and sleeping with the bride before she has a chance to sleep with her husband. So in order to tame Gilgamesh, the goddess ARURU created a rival to him called Enkidu. Enkidu was a wild man who lived beyond the walls of the city, where chaos reigned and where wild animals and evil spirits lived. But after a priestess of the goddess Ishtar seduced Enkidu and slept with him, he became civilized. The wild animals beyond the wall rejected him, so he ventured into the city, where he then encountered Gilgamesh. Perfectly matched, Enkidu and Gilgamesh wrestled all through the city streets. They kept fighting until Gilgamesh won the fight at the end, by a hair. Afterwards, they became inseparable. With his new friend beside him, Gilgamesh turned his attention from the brides of Uruk to proving himself in combat. They set out to slay Humbaba, a creature with 1,000 faces who guarded the forest of cedar. They tracked Humbaba and ambushed him. Cornered, he begged for his life and cursed them. Gilgamesh then dealt the final blow. Back home in Uruk, the goddess Ishtar took a romantic interest in Gilgamesh, but Gilgamesh refused her advances. So Ishtar unleashed the ball of heaven to destroy crops and to kill the people of the city. And when Gilgamesh and Enkidu slayed the beast, the gods were unpleased, so they killed Enkidu. And there he entered the House of Dust. The shadowy underworld, where the spirits of the dead kneel eternally on the ground, consuming dirt and stones. Grieving for Enkidu and terrified of meeting the same fate himself, Gilgamesh set off beyond the cosmic mountains to seek immortality. He passed scorpion people and groves of gemstone trees. He traveled beneath the mountains and outran the rising sun until he came to the end of the world, where he found a bar. The bartender was a goddess named Chiduri. She urged Gilgamesh to give up his quest and told him that all mortals must die, but until then, he should enjoy his life. Gilgamesh, however, refused to give up, so reluctantly she gave him directions to cross the waters of death, where he met the immortal man, Utanapishti. Utanapishti had been granted immortality by the gods following a great flood, during which he built a boat and loaded onto it 2 of every animal until they landed on a mountain peak. Utanapishti also encouraged Gilgamesh to accept that death comes for everyone, but Gilgamesh still wouldn't budge. So Utanapishti told Gilgamesh that if he can conquer sleep, the gods might grant him immortality. Gilgamesh intended to stay awake for 7 days, but fell asleep immediately. Utanapishti then told Gilgamesh about a magical plant that grew at the bottom of the ocean and granted eternal youth. Though Gilgamesh successfully retrieved the plant from the bottom of the ocean, a snake stole it on his way back home, and that's why the snake had become a symbol of rejuvenation and immortality. But when Gilgamesh got back home and laid his eyes on his beautiful city, he vowed to spend his lifetime doing great deeds. He wrote his story and buried it underneath the city walls for a future generation to learn from. Generations and millennia later, this story was found on tablets in the library of the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal. Versions of this story date back to 2000 BC and still echo in literature today.